FM.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Good afternoon. Happy Monday. This is the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com at a brand new time. Rico, what's up?
Hello.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I couldn't hear myself. Hello.
There you go. There you are.
Sorry, it's been a little bit.
It has been a while.
It's been like a week. I forgot how to do things.
Do you remember how to push the buttons?
No, I don't. I'm very lost.
Well, if you need help,
don't ask.
Well, I mean, I could run around the table really quickly, I suppose.
I'll figure it out.
How's the day been, man?
It's been good, man. I been just trying to get stuff done, doing some production stuff back there. Got here, at my regular time, and realized I didn't have to go into the studio. So I was sitting back there, and I was like, "Well, now what do I do?" So I started working on some opens, some rejoins, changing stuff up for some other shows, and was getting prepared to go to my first ever media availability.
That's what you were saying.
So I went to the Devaney and listened to Lexi Rodriguez, Becca Alec, and head coach John Cook speak to the media members there. And it was good. It was good. I felt really awkward because I got there really early and the TV people were setting up their cameras. And I was like, I'm just going to stand here against the wall and not have a camera.
I'm starting to figure out the kind of like the time frame to show up and stuff because I've been able to go to quite a few of them now. And I've started to realize like TV people, talking to them as well, they have to get there so early because they want a good spot to set up. And so one of my buddies was setting up and he got there like 30 minutes before it's supposed to start to set up. And he had to get he had to get on the far side of the little half circle that they set up because he didn't get there early enough to get one in the middle. And I guess that's a pretty big deal. So I realized that like TV people, they have to be there 45 hours in advance.
It was crazy. And like, Lexi was the first one to talk. They brought her out.
Yeah.
And just like all the TV people grabbed their cameras and just got like real close. And I was like, this is just, everybody's just like this tiny little circle. And I was just standing in the back and I was like, I don't have a recorder. I was like, I could have recorded on my phone, but I didn't because I'm a dummy.
That is true. I didn't want to tell you. I didn't want to tell you, but you came in, you're like, yeah, I held up my phone for 8 minutes recording on video and my shoulder was killing me. And I was like sitting there like, Nick, don't say it, but why didn't you just record it with the voice memos?
And I told you, I said about 3 minutes in, I was like, I should just be recording this with voice. I am in radio. Why am I doing a video?
That's a very good point.
So that was the thing that happened.
As always, 402-464-5685, the Honda Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line, both those open for you guys. This is really weird. I'm used to just transitioning from that side of the table at 2 p.m. to this side of the table from 2 to 3. This is weird. I had a couple hours, not off necessarily. I was still here doing work, but like I got all. So normally, Rico, you'll know this. Like it's 4 hours in the studio, and then it's post podcast clip videos. That's what it is every day. Now, like I posted the drive with AD and Raph, which was a lot of fun. Then I posted clips, so that I've already got that on our social media pages. If you want to go check that out. And now it's like, all right, let's do a radio show. Let's do our happy hour, and then after this. It's not very much it's kind of crazy. I'm just not used to this.
I have strange hours.
And my voice is very modulated in my headphones. I don't know why it is.
It's weird. It was the same thing when I was over there. I thought it was the headphones, but I guess it just might be something over there.
Maybe it's me.
But I get here. I get here at 8 now, and you do the show at 8.
Yeah, I got here at 7:30 or 7:40, I guess. And AD and Raph were sitting here, and I'm like, all right, sweet, let's do a show. And they did the spillover.
They did the spillover. You were over there, and I was talking to you for a little bit. And then I was like, the spillover ended, and I was getting ready to go out and go. And I go, this is not my show. This is
interesting.
So I was like, I guess I'll stay over here. And I cut up a couple things. Or no, I didn't cut up. I was working on some intros and rejoins, and then I left to go do that. And I sat on the other side for for Sean's show as well. So I was over there for 2 shows. I went and did volleyball. I came back here and I had a show where I was sitting on that side of the table.
Exactly.
I don't sit over there.
You don't
very
ever
often.
sit on this
and
side.
then I moved back over here and I was like, this is that little transition was weird.
Like
Usually I have to walk in the door and tell Vershawn, hey, see you later.
Yeah, it was weird sitting in the back and listening to Vershawn's show, and I was like, I'm supposed to be doing stuff. Like it truly feels like I
should be doing something.
I was like, I should be in the studio, but I wasn't. And so no, it's good change. I like change. Change is good, keeps it fresh. 402-464-5685. Once again, the Honda Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line. Both those are open for you guys. Once again, so we have already reached our goal for, I think it was like a goal for the end of the week, but
it was
we
a
reached
goal for the
it.
month.
Okay, so it was the goal for the month, but we've already surpassed it just halfway through the month of 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So shout out to you guys for that.
You guys are
amazing.
amazing.
Keep it going up. Keep it going up. So head over to YouTube, 93.7 The Ticket. You can search it.
1,500.
Hit that subscribe button. You can always head to, if you ever want to like rep our gear, rep our swag, head over to the ticket store. You can pick up a shirt. And if you want to see how they look, like Rico and I modeled them a couple days ago.
We did. We looked very good.
And you can always download the ticket app as well if you want to listen on the go. All right, so plenty of stuff to get to. We'll be joined, like we always are every Monday, by Steve Mark of Inside Nebraska here at 1:30. But before we do, there's plenty of Husker football stuff to talk about. Nebraska's alternate uniforms. I know you and Bach and Vershawn kind of touched on them.
They're boring
in the spillover. I want to give our favorite because there's been a lot of traction on Twitter about what favorites
I gotta look through them.
They were. So Michael Bruntz actually of 24/7 Sports had an article that went through and showed pictures of every year and their alternate uniforms. So we'll kind of dive into that in a second. And then we also talk about how Nebraska received 1 vote in the AP poll. And at first, like I sit here and I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm good with that. Like Nebraska received a vote in the AP poll. There's a lot of excitement around the program, things like that. But now I sit here and I think more about it. And a 3-9 team that was a team that was 3-9 last year just received a vote in the AP poll.
How? Why?
And I guess in addition to this, if you really want to think about it and how stupid the coaches poll is, Texas was ranked 18th in the coaches poll, but unranked in the AP poll.
They are always ranked every year. It doesn't matter.
Everybody's high on Texas.
Texas could go winless.
And the next year.
And the next season they would be in the top 25.
Man.
There is nothing good that comes from Texas that the University of Texas that people would not root for, or not root for them, but throw them into their top 25 for some reason. It's just, it's in Austin, Texas. They had another good recruiting class because they always have a good recruiting class. And for some reason, they're like, yeah, no, they're going to be good this year. Texas is back. And then they win 3 games against no-name competition. Everybody's like, yep, I told you the Longhorns are back. And then they get blown out by Baylor and TCU and Oklahoma. And they're like, oh, well, I guess they're not back.
Jake Sorensen makes a good point on the text line. People forget that Nebraska went 4-8 in Frost's first year and was preseason ranked 24th in the next year AP poll. I did forget about that, but also, like, think back up to that season.
Didn't they finish the season pretty strong?
Well, so they finished the season winning for their final 6, I think.
Yeah, they started 0-6.
Yeah, they would have lost to Wisconsin and Iowa, I guess.
They lost to Iowa close, but it was like a
which year?
You're right.
Thank you, Rico.
Yeah, you're right. But it was like a good game, I guess. So everybody's like, look, taking all this excitement going into next season, you have a full off season of Frost and company.
Well, you can't forget. I mean, it was that transition from look what he did in that transition from year 1 at UCF to year 2 at UCF. We're going to see something, maybe not to the extent of an undefeated season,
Adrian
but
Martinez
we're going to see.
Hype.
That's right. Adrian Martinez was a Heisman hopeful at that point.
And I heard this on one of the bigger networks. They said if it weren't for Trevor Lawrence, Adrian Martinez would have been first team all-freshman, all-American that season. He would have been the freshman all-American quarterback. Though.
Like on a 4-8 team. It's insane. Jake, that's actually a really good point by Jake. People forget that Nebraska went 4-8 and for Frost's first year and was ranked 24th. I mean, but like I said, there's always hype around Nebraska. And maybe this year's different. Right? Maybe this year's different. Maybe we're on board with that. Once again, 402-464-5685, the Honda Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line, both those open for you guys the entire show today. Nick Sander, Enrique Alvarez, Clary, I never really introduced ourselves. However, let's
Who
talk.
are we?
Who are we? Let's talk about these alternate uniforms because they were released today. Scoring explosion. It's a tribute to the 1983 Huskers, a roster that featured guys like Turner Gill, Mike Rozier, Irvin Fryer as well. And if you have not seen it, it's kind of like a meshy look on the jersey. The pants have stripes and everything. But I always like talking alternate uniforms because Rico and I have, I think we're on a similar path here.
Oh, we are.
On what we like out of alternate uniforms. Sometimes I don't necessarily like flashy. You don't need flashy, all right? You don't have to have chrome. You don't have to have the matte black. Like it doesn't have to be something super spectacular on the uniforms. However, like I was thinking back, the first ones that come to my mind were the 2013 ones that Nebraska wore against UCLA. And
Those are nice.
I really liked those ones.
I forgot about those ones.
So those ones were good.
The black tops with the black stripes.
Black stripes down the paint.
Black stripe on the helmet. The helmet was normal except for the black stripe. It wasn't a red stripe. It was a black stripe.
That's true. But
those are clean.
Like they're clean. They're not like I would say
the
simple.
Numbers are also different.
For an alternate uniform, I would say that those are simple.
Oh,
there's a difference between boring or dull and simple.
Oh yeah.
And it really feels like now, once again, it's a tribute to the 1983 team. So I understand that they have to design it a certain way and they want to create, keep certain elements from the 1983 jersey and kind of make it into, a modern type jersey, I suppose.
It's boring.
But like, here's one year that they did too much was the chrome. I did not care for the chrome.
Hold on. Which chrome? They've done chrome multiple times. 2016
Northwestern.
Hold on. There was a different chrome.
I liked last year's
2014 Illinois. That one was terrible. The all reds with the chrome letters and the chrome names. You couldn't read the names. You didn't know who was who unless you just knew them by number.
Randy Gregory had a great.
That's the picture. Randy Gregory murdered a guy.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Nate Gary. I remember Nate Gary.
Yeah,
Nate Gary. Yeah, Nate Gary got a pick and Randy Gregory murdered.
I remember where I was. I was sitting in North Stadium for that game, watching it, and I saw Randy Gregory lay a dude and probably take his soul. As Rashawn Jackson would say, take out the heart and then give it back to them. And so, okay, so I want to hear your guys' thoughts. 402-464-5685. Best alternate uniforms. What do you guys like out of an alternate uniform? And we already have quite a few comments, so we'll get to those here in a second.
The 2015 ones were nice. It was the all black.
See, like that's where it's too much.
No, I liked it.
Like when you incorporate, I know I'm on the picture, Rico. When you're incorporating a black jersey, black pants, black helmet, like that's where the 2013 or I suppose even the 2019 versus Indiana, that's where those are actually better in my opinion because there's not so much black, there's not so much white, and there's not a ton of red. There's a little bit of everything.
2019 Indiana?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's something about a white helmet that I like. I like a white helmet like Nebraska usually has.
Okay.
And if you want to change the color of the stripe, but through the middle or through your skull or whatever, go ahead. Because I really like the black ones that had the skull and crossbones on the shoulder pads.
Oh yeah. 2021 Buffalo had the best helmets.
I agree.
Hands down.
I want them to wear those helmets. Those helmets reminded me of Utah's helmets.
Those are the best helmets.
Utah wore their helmets in the Rose Bowl last year.
UU with the rose?
Yes. And they are beautiful. And that's what Nebraska's alternate uniform last year reminded me of. I liked Nebraska's last year that they wore against Buffalo.
Honestly, if you put don't know how controversial this might be, but I'm going to say it anyways. If you put those helmets with the 2018 alternates against Illinois, I like it.
Did you? Okay, so you liked
liked those uniforms. I liked the numbers.
You liked the cream color pants?
I did.
I didn't care for the cream color pants, and then
I don't know why it just worked.
Old
the
look
helmet was terrible.
on the helmet.
The helmet was terrible. 2018 Illinois helmet was terrible. The uniform was clean. The jersey and the pants were clean. I liked the cream. I don't know why, but it was really nice. But I don't know why you didn't like the 2015. Maybe I'm remembering it. Maybe this picture's not doing it the same amount of injustice that it did on the field. But the black helmet is nice. The black helmet with the red end, the red stripe, I like that. The all black is clean. Maybe you didn't need the chrome around the number.
Yeah.
If that would have just been like, white, that would have been pretty good.
See, if they were white numbers, I think that would be pretty sweet.
The only chrome uniform that I have, and not Nebraska, the only chrome uniform that I have found really cool outside of the first time Oregon did it. Every time after that has been terrible.
Yeah.
The first time they did it against Wisconsin in the Rose Bowl was awesome.
Oregon, which one was that?
I don't remember what year it was, but it was
Oregon versus Wisconsin.
Yeah, Oregon,
Rose
Wisconsin.
Bowl.
They did the chrome helmets, and that was the first time they broke out the chrome helmets, and it was beautiful because it was coming off the sunset was coming off, just shining off the helmets, and it was beautiful.
Okay.
Texas A&M's icy whites. That is the only type of chrome that I have found just gorgeous.
Texas A&M icy whites.
Yeah, the icy whites that they wore because the face mask was chrome. I don't think the helmet was chrome. They might have had chrome somewhere else. Might have just been the face mask. Those are clean. Yeah.
Yeah, those are nice.
And that's why I get upset because Nebraska,
they have the
Texas
shape
A&M,
of Texas here in the middle as well, over the chest.
And Texas A&M are both sponsored by Adidas, but for some reason, Adidas does much better alternate jerseys for other schools than they do with Nebraska.
Now,
I don't know what that is. I don't know whose fault
Here's
it is,
something to keep in mind.
but it's upsetting.
We know Trev Alberts is big on keeping the history of Nebraska alive. He wants to incorporate Nebraska's history, does not want to get away from the logo. He's talked about that when he's discussed basketball jerseys for men's and women's basketball, when he's talked about alternates, does not want to get too far away from the Nebraska logo, which I don't think is a bad thing. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's why you're seeing the tribute to a former team, the scoring explosion of 1983. So maybe that's the case here, and maybe we will never see chrome uniforms. Maybe we'll never see black tops with a black N ever again. And if so, then that's fine. If you want to hold on to the integrity of the Nebraska logo and the trademarked logo there. But like the 2017s versus Wisconsin and specifically the 2018s versus Illinois, I just did not care for it. I did not care for the cream-colored pants in 2018 against Illinois. Did not care for the helmet as well. And like, I wanted to like the 2016 versus Northwestern where they were the white chrome jerseys.
You don't have to.
I wanted to so bad because if they were hanging on in your closet, or if you had an actual helmet just sitting,
helmet is nice.
Like if you off the field, they looked really good.
Beautiful.
They shined.
On the field, not great.
On the field, it just did not go. And maybe here's the thing. Maybe it's because it was at Northwestern.
Okay. We've got it so many times on the text line. I'm going to have to address it now. Why is it a problem? Why do people hate alternate uniforms? What is the problem with the university or players just wanting to have some type of fun? I understand that right now it's not something that anybody wants to see because Nebraska isn't winning. But at the same time, people are like, oh, well, Penn State and Michigan and Alabama, they don't change uniforms. They just go out there and they play football games. That's cool. That's cool. You can do that. But guess what? If you want to do alternate uniforms, you can do alternate uniforms and still be a blue blood. It's fine. It doesn't have to just be a gimmick. It's something that could attract recruits. And yes, I understand.
Yeah, as sad as that is.
Winning attracts recruits. That's all you need to do is win and play football. Shut up.
Whoa,
The
Rico, you're feisty
also
this morning.
Attract recruits. It's just something fun to do. It's something that you can also use as a selling point for the fans that watch your program. It's a different uniform that they can buy.
You can talk about you can wiggle NIL into this discussion as well to a certain extent, where it's listen, if you had a Casey Thompson jersey with a sweet or really cool looking jersey on it, that's not just the normal home or away color, then that's going to attract some specific buyers. Now, obviously, maybe that's stretching it a little bit, and maybe that's kind of being out of line. But I think that we're in an era right now with college football to where it's like this is what's going to not only keep fans interested, but when you want to appeal to a younger generation, mm-hmm. they are automatically attracted to flashiness. Like that's just what it is.
And I understand that it's just people are going to come back with winning attracts recruits. Well, guess what?
Absolutely.
Guess what? You're not winning. So you got to do something else to attract recruits.
Yeah, you got to figure out another way to.
That's why
keep people
Alabama's not
interested.
changing uniforms because they're just winning year in and year out. And guess what? If Alabama did change uniforms, you wouldn't hear that much crying.
That's the thing.
As long as they win in them.
Nebraska.
But that's another thing is every time Nebraska's done an alternate uniform, not every time, but a lot of the times they do an alternate uniform, they don't win. And that's a big reason why I believe I've heard it from a couple of people where the red pants are kind of a kind of an omen where you wear the red on red and you
Yeah.
lose. So that's why people think it looks cool when the
You can't-
recruits wear it.
You can't wear stripe, or you have to have stripes on the pants because you don't win, and when you don't have stripes
The
on the pants,
recruits
things
come
like
in and
that,
they put on all these different types of uniforms. They take the pictures and people are like, "Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. The red on red, that's great. The black uniforms and the black pants, that's awesome."
Yeah.
But then when it comes to a game, it's don't you wear those? Don't do that. Why? If the recruits like it, they're taking pictures in these and they enjoy them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that the coaches are saying, "Oh, we're going to wear this sometime during your tenure here," but if enough of the players are on the team and they're like, if you're winning and it's like, "Hey, let's wear this different uniform." Okay, cool. As long as you continue to win. But it's the fact that Nebraska has worn alternates and lost in those alternates that people have such an issue with.
And
them right
it's just like across all college sport. Like I don't think this conversation can just be contained with football. Like Downtown Scott asks, do recruits really get excited about alternate uniforms? And I guess my response is, I would hope that the universities wouldn't have them try on and take pictures with all these other uniforms that they wouldn't wear in a game unless they thought it would help their chances to land that recruit, if that makes sense. If they didn't think that them trying on the flashiest or sexiest uniform to take pictures with on their official or unofficial visits was going to help them land the recruit to show the kind of gear that they might be able to wear, or kind of gear that they're going to wear,
they wouldn't offer it to them.
They wouldn't offer it to them. They wouldn't provide it if they didn't think it helped them, even if it's a tiny bit. Like I guess that's my response. We can't, no recruit's going to admit that, yeah, I want to go just for the uniform, but
it's a part of it.
It's a
you
part
can
of
be
it. Like
honest, it's a part of it.
The gear and the swag are absolutely a part of.
Ryan from
of
Nashville
discussion.
saying, "Yeah, it's nice to have nice things, but are they really needed?" No, it's not needed. But
No,
guess
absolutely
what?
not.
Guess what? Like I said earlier, it's fun. It's something else that you can do to break up the mundane, day to day. You're beating your head in playing football.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? You get to wear something different than what you've worn every other home game or every other away game. Here's just something new and shiny for one game. Cool. Look good, play good. Don't you hear that from people all the time? Come on, man. Like, it's just something fun to do. If Nebraska was winning and they did these alternates, nobody would say anything.
So Nebraska Nolan makes a really good point also. And once again, 402-464-5685. You guys have been great with this discussion. We're going to talk to Steve Marek in a couple minutes here. We'll ask him alternate uniforms, all that stuff. It's also the brands that sponsor teams that usually want to make more merch to sell. That's a really good point, right? When we talk about NIL, we talk about everything like that. We always come back to this: money drives everything, all the way from at a program standpoint to who sponsors the program. Adidas looks at Nebraska and sees the passionate fan base and a fan base that wants everything to do with this program. And at the end of the day, they look at it and see possible dollar signs. And that's just kind of the truth about it. And that's just, I guess, the way it is. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Once again, 402-464-5685. Let's see some more.
Texter says, "You think Garrett Nelson cares what color pants he's going to wear at Nebraska?" No, I don't think Garrett Nelson cares what color pants he's going to wear. But I also think that Garrett Nelson, who is a big fan of tradition at Nebraska, loves this idea of an alternate uniform honoring the scoring explosion. I'm sure he loves uniforms honoring the teams, the national champions in the 1990s. I'm sure he loves that. And the fact that he can be a part of wearing a uniform that honors that, I'm sure that he enjoys that.
Well, as sad as it is to say, you probably don't have 110 Garrett Nelsons on this team that are here at Nebraska, and have tradition in mind. And that's the brutal reality of it, unfortunately. Jory says this on the text line: recruits don't care about tradition anymore. It's not popular but with social media, it's about facilities, NIL, and alternate uniforms, because winning helps, but those things seal the deal with recruits. It's a much different generation. And that goes back to my point of, if the coaching staff didn't think that trying on the sexiest or coolest looking uniform was going to help sway recruits, like part of why programs or athletic departments switch sponsorships is because of the possible merch that they could be able to get from this. That's why you see Michigan going to Air Jordan. That's why you see Oklahoma going to Air Jordan rather than sticking with Adidas or Nike or Under Armour. It's because they offer more possibilities for income for these programs and more possibilities to attract recruits with the newest kind of clothing and the newest styles. So all that plays a factor. Unfortunately, once again, I can't reiterate that enough. It's not like we're thrilled that that's the way that the the world works nowadays in college athletics, but it is. Miles Brennan, you were just telling us, Rico, and I don't know if you mentioned it on the water cooler, but Miles Brennan decided to walk away from football, signed multiple NIL deals, but here he is now where he walks away. But since NIL is technically not disrupted or involved with how performance of play and how you play,
it's not performance-based.
Thank you, that's the word I was looking for. NIL is not performance-based. Miles Brennan, walking away from football, still gets all of the money from the NIL deals. So once again, like there's one example of how regulation is probably coming down the chute, because the 4 or 5 companies that signed Miles Brennan to a contract thinking that he could be the starting quarterback at LSU are pretty pissed.
I would be slightly upset.
They're pretty mad because Miles Brennan walking away from football, basically retiring, right? And they still owe him all this money. It's just kind of a crazy, crazy world that we live in. Let's go ahead and take our time out. When we come back, we'll be joined by Steve Mark of Inside Nebraska, talk offensive line, talk a little Scott Frost and how he's feeling about 12 days out from the season beginning. Want to hear your guys' thoughts all show long. 402-464-5685. We'll be right back on the Happy Hour.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Bauer Infrastructure is a new name from a well-established brand, and they're paving the way to progress. And they're hiring. Bauer Infrastructure is hiring truck drivers, carpenters, truck mechanics, and equipment operators. And they have industry-leading benefits to maintain a work-life balance. Bauer offers paid time off and paid holidays, a matching 401k plan, medical, dental, vision, life, and disability insurance, a clothing allowance, and more. Start your new career today by applying at BauerInfrastructure.com.
Not headed to Dublin to watch the Nebraska football season opener? Don't worry, we've got you covered. You can tailgate and watch the game right here. Join 93.7 The Ticket, Ambition Electric, and Steve's Garage Doors here in our parking lot for a tailgate and watch party. Joe from Ambition Electric will be serving breakfast and lunch while our hosts get you ready for the game with the Ticket Tailgate pregame show. And best of all, it's all free. The Nebraska Northwestern Tailgate and Watch Party. August 27th, beginning at 9 a.m. right here in our parking lot at 330 North 48th Street. Brought to you by Ambition Electric and Steve's Garage Doors.
You know you want that smoky, tangy, sweet, and spicy sauced and tossed Wingstop. But you just brought a haul of groceries home from the store. It's cool. No one expects you to shop and cook in the same day. So let the flavor experts at Wingstop hook you up with mouth-watering wings, crispy tenders and thighs, fries and sides delivered to your door. You can always cook tomorrow. That's why the fridge was invented. Get it delivered at wingstop.com.
Order your Wingstop online at 28th and Superior, 50th and O Street, and 29th and Pine Lake.
Warhorse Casino is bringing winning opportunities to Lincoln. Get in on the action at our next job fair, Saturday, August 20th from 10 to 2 at the Cornhusker Marriott, 333 South 13th Street. We are hiring trailblazers in every department: beverage servers, slot, custodial, security, and more. Every employee is treated like family, and every role is essential in creating a one-of-a-kind experience. For information on openings and job fairs, go to warhorsecasino.com.
Imagine your next staff meeting. Now imagine your next staff meeting with a side of ribs. Your next client presentation, or that same client presentation with brisket and baked beans. It's better, right? Let Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul take care of all of your business catering needs. Feed the staff, cater your next event, whatever you need, Mary Ellen's can help. They can even host your events in their brand new event space located right next to the restaurant. Go see for yourself. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake or online at maryellens.com. Let them fix you a plate.
Lincoln's first distillery is now bigger and better than ever before. Join Sideshow Spirits this Thursday, August 18th, as they celebrate their grand opening of their renovated space and distillery. Doors open at 2 p.m. with free tours, free cocktail and spirit samples, and free appetizers. The cocktail bar is open from 4 to 11 p.m. to celebrate. Check out their bottle and merchandise store, private tasting room, and event spaces. It's the Sideshow Spirits grand opening this Thursday at 16th and P.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppel Chevrolet GMC, and things are cooking in Louisville. Right now, our pre-owned sales are off the charts, and we have loaded up the lots full of inventory. We've got a great supply of Sierras, Silverados, Tahoes, Yukons, and crossovers. Plus, we've got a great supply of back-to-school cars just in time for the big day. Don't forget about all of those new 2022 and 2023 units arriving every day as well. So please take that short, money-saving drive down 144th Street or shop online at coppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear because I'm grilling up dinner. You get it?
Yes, good job.
So what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at smokeybear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Now back to the happy hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the happy hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com at a brand new time. We're on from 1 to 2.
Same faces.
Same faces, same voices, just at a new time, an hour earlier. And you guys can contribute to the show all hour long, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line. We're kind of transitioning towards game week prep for Nebraska football, and we heard from Scott Frost on Saturday rather than Friday, and that's kind of going to be how it goes here for the next couple weeks as they prepare for Northwestern. I believe we're going to talk to Scott Frost next Sunday before they leave for Dublin the following week, so a little bit of a different schedule. Scott Frost will talk once again on Sunday, talked on Saturday, and now we are joined by Steve Mark of Inside Nebraska, who was at the press conference on Saturday and writes articles for the rival site for Nebraska. Hello, Steve. How's it going?
Hey, Nick. I'm doing great. Enjoying the little bit of rain we're getting here. Kind of needed that, so that's my weather forecast for to start things off.
Have you ever thought about being a meteorologist?
I have not,
okay.
But when my lawn is looking like it is and it rains, I get excited.
We're heading out to Steve Mark for the weather.
I was gonna say, are you big like lawn and landscaping type of guy?
So I was never really that guy, but
okay.
you know, when you get older like I am and you start to, accumulate things like a house and everything, you start to turn into that guy a little bit. So I am kind of just transitioning into caring about the lawn and trying to make it look, like I care for people that drive by and look at it. So
that's just a thing that happens with us guys is as you age, you have to pick one thing and just stake your entire personality to it. Smoking meats, lawn care, old cars, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. I have also dabbled into the smoky meat thing. I'm
really
just a beginner. Yeah, just a beginner, but trying it out. So yeah, you are 2 for 2 with me right now.
That's crazy. All right. Well, once again, we're joined by Steve Mark of Inside Nebraska here. Okay, so one kind of discussion point that I've been talking about is this offseason, specifically since Big Ten Media Days, when we've heard from Scott Frost, it just kind of feels like they have a chip on their shoulder. Like they just have kind of an edge to them this year that maybe we haven't seen in years past. And I think the common fan would be like, well, it's about time. It's about time they have that kind of mentality going into a season. But what have you kind of seen, Steve, from Scott Frost's demeanor as we've talked to him over the last couple of weeks as they prepare for a pretty crucial season of whether or not they're going to be the coaching here in Nebraska next season?
Yeah, me personally, I think that they are sounding like that. Scott is sounding like that because he's got, I think, kind of a quiet confidence, and it's because of a lot of the offseason momentum that the program has had. They brought in 33 new faces, 15 of them from Division I schools. They have their projected starter at quarterback with Casey Thompson. He was kind of the hot name coming out from Texas.
Yeah.
They grabbed another one with Chuba Purdy from Florida State. They have a lot of, O'Shawn Mathis was one of the top names in the portal at edge from TCU. So, and plus a lot of the recruiting momentum that's been going on, and that kind of goes along with the assistant hires. I think Mickey Joseph, Brian Applewhite have been really, really good. And I just think that all of that combined is kind of putting a pep in the step, of the program and kind of how they're moving forward, getting closer to the season, and they're feeling good about themselves right now. But at the end of the day, it's just none of that's gonna matter unless you don't beat Northwestern. So there's a lot of stuff to go on still. I think a lot of questions to be answered. But right now I definitely think that there's a quiet confidence around the program. But at the end of the day, like I said before, if they leave Ireland without a win, it's going to be all for nothing, really.
Steve, you mentioned all of the new faces, and I'm going to stick on the offensive side of things with everything we've heard from the coaches the past couple of weeks of how, from time to time, how the offense has been struggling and how, people haven't been looking that great, and how, they'll have a bad practice from time to time. After this second scrimmage that they had, are we, still a little bit worried about the offense catching up to the defense, or is this just par for the course with off season, getting into the first game of the regular season work?
Yeah, I think it's par for the course because, let's just keep in mind that they are in fall camp right now, and it is spring practice, and it is practice, and it is a new offense with a new offensive coordinator and a new revamped offensive line and a brand new quarterback and some new receivers. So it's going to take time for the offense to kind of click and mesh. And I wouldn't be surprised if the defense is kind of carrying this team at least to start the season. But I mean, it makes sense. It makes total sense that the offense might be behind the defense a little bit just because there's so many different new and moving parts with the offense. It's just going to be really interesting to see how quickly the offense comes along and how quickly they can get into gear because, they just need a strong start to this season. And, if you look at the schedule, it sets up nicely for the potential to do that. But, they need to actually get on the field and do it. So, there's a lot of questions. I'm still kind of concerned about the offensive line. I know a lot of people are kind of torn on that subject, but I'm not as quite as confident as some are with the offensive line. But, they're going to get their chance to prove everybody wrong and go out there and if they can get to even just being an average offensive line unit in the Big Ten, I think that's going to help out this offense immensely if they could, get some push on the handoff run game and not have to rely on the quarterback run so much. And if they can just kind of do well blocking for the handoff run game, I think that's just going to make things a lot easier for Casey Thompson or Chuba Purdy, whoever ends up winning the quarterback battle. I think it's going to make it easier on them.
We're speaking to Steve Mark of Inside Nebraska here, the rival site for the Huskers. And speaking about that offensive line really quickly, I know we've talked pretty extensively about, why we're concerned about the offensive line, and especially without Nuri Nuili, being ineligible for the season, obviously, and Turner Corcoran's back at practice. So that's good news for the Huskers. But how much in season do you think that they're going to kind of shift some guys around? Because we've talked quite a bit so far in the offseason about how they have a couple guys that can play multiple positions, Turner Corcoran being one of those. But how much, shuffling do you think they'll do actually in the season if it's not successful?
Yeah, I could see that happening against Northwestern and for sure against North Dakota and Georgia Southern for sure. I just think so let's go down the line here.
Yeah.
Tabor Hoska at left tackle. I don't really know what to expect from him. He's just a massive body coming off the injury that he did to the knee. Are they going to even attempt to play him the entire game against Northwestern? I don't know. I think it'd be good to kind of be careful with Teddy and maybe have somebody else work in at left tackle during that game. I know Kevin Williams is going to be kind of a really solid option at both tackle and guard that could maybe kind of just be inserted during the game and kind of give a few reps here and there. But also Turner Corcoran's a brand new position for him at guard instead of tackle. I know he's really athletic and he could probably do it, but is it going to look pretty the first game? I'm guessing not. And then at center, Trent Hickson, 6-year guy, the older the better for offensive linemen, especially in the Big Ten. But it's his first time playing center at the Division I level too. So I just kind of don't know what to think about that either. But then you go right next to him at right guard, and there's another fellow 6-year senior with Brock Bando, and he's getting his first. He'll likely be getting his first starting games coming up here. So it's just another question mark right there. And then of course right tackle Bryce Benhart. We all know what it was last year. I think he'd be the first to tell you that he didn't have a really good season. So maybe Donovan Raiola can bring the potential out of what was considered a really good pickup with Bryce Benhart back in the day. So there's a lot of question marks left to be answered here with the offensive line. But like I said earlier, I might not be high on them right now, but they're definitely going to get a chance to kind of shut some people up against Northwestern.
Yeah, and one thing to add about Teddy that he told us last week at the press conference was he talked extensively and was not shy about saying, listen, it's hard to get back into football game shape, because those are two different things, getting back healthy and then getting back to being able to play football. Those are two different things. Once again, we're joined by Steve Mark of Inside Nebraska. A couple more, Steve, before we let you go. Alternate uniforms released today. How do we feel about the look of these? Obviously, they're honoring the 1983 scoring explosion team, but where do you sit on the alternate uniforms? Rico and I were having a conversation in the first segment about, listen, it's as sad as this is to say, they might attract recruits and some younger guys want to go places for the flashiness or for the swag. And I'm just curious where we got a little bit of pushback from some of our listeners, but I'm curious where you sit at with alternate uniforms right now, and what are your thoughts on the ones that were released today for the Huskers?
Yeah, so the ones that were released today, I have to admit I do kind of like the mesh look.
Okay.
Like on the jersey, and especially where you can kind of see it with the numbers. That kind of brings me back to my young days when I was playing football with like the raggedy old practice jerseys that we like took out that were like probably 30 years old. So it reminds me of that, and it just has the kind of the look of what they were going for with that 1983 team. But as for like alternate jerseys, they're fine. I think it could be used as a great recruiting tool. Obviously, kids are really into fashion these days, and that goes along with football as well. So just if they could start pumping up things like this, it's going to be good. Just have one or two each year. I think that would be really, really kind of beneficial for the program. But overall for the one that they unveiled today, I kind of like it. I'm really for the mesh look.
Okay, so I want to ask you one more football question, then also a basketball question, because there was some news today. But first with football, as we put a bow on this one, I don't know if you saw, did you see the news about Miles Brennan walking away from football?
Yes, I did.
Did you see that he gets to keep the NIL money?
Yeah,
because it's not based on performance, right? So I guess do we see regulation coming in a couple months, I guess?
I think you're going to see a lot of stuff coming. Just once people get a real grasp of what this whole world is going to be like, I guess, because if you're an NIL company and you're kind of, you have this happen to you, you can't be happy, right?
Yeah.
There needs to be things that need to change, some guardrails or something like that, just to help prevent things like this happening. But I think you're going to see some of that going on until those things start to happen.
Okay, so last one before we let you go. In addition to football, you cover Husker men's basketball for Inside Nebraska, and there was a little bit of news today. Nebraska still was, before today, I guess, looking to fill their third assistant coaching job after Armand Gates left for Oregon, and they decided to go in a route that on paper doesn't look so bad. It looks like they are going to hire Ernie. Is it Ziegler or Ziegler?
I've been going with Ziegler.
Okay, Ernie Ziegler, who was formerly at Mississippi State for quite a while. I mean, what can you tell us about Coach Ziegler And kind of, I mean, how impressive is this grab for Fred Hoiberg so late in the offseason?
Yeah, I'm with you, Nick. I think this is a really solid hire. I mean, if you look at his past, the last 6 years, I believe he was with Ben Howland at Mississippi State, and before Mississippi State, he had prior stops with Ben Howland's staff at UCLA and Pittsburgh. So he has ties on the West Coast. He has ties on the SEC. He's a Midwestern guy. He's from Detroit, I believe. So he has. I mean, when you look at those 3 areas of the country, I mean, that's excellent to have a guy on staff that knows people and has connections on the West Coast, SEC territory, and in the Midwest around the Detroit area. So, and what I really liked is he's a former head coach. He was at Central Michigan. He was a head coach at Central Michigan for 6 years.
Wow.
It didn't go well for him that during that time, but it's still good, I think, in my opinion, to have a guy like that on your staff and on your bench to help kind of guide. And he has just plenty of coaching experience. He even coached in his first 2 head coaching gigs were overseas too. So he's been around, he's met a lot of people, he's recruited a lot of players, and I think that's exactly what Fred Hoiberg kind of needed for that third and final assistant coaching role.
Yeah, seems like a guy that's pretty decent at recruiting. Has had garnered some attention from McDonald's All-Americans in the past at his previous stops. So seems like a pretty impressive hire on paper. Now, once again, it's on paper. But for Fred Hoiberg and his staff, once again, this late in the process, it was kind of alarming for me personally that they're going to have to fill a void this late in the offseason when there's been a lot of shifts, but a long time ago, months ago in college basketball. So I think on paper it's possibly as good as it could have been for Nebraska basketball, which necessarily isn't a college basketball powerhouse. All right, Steve, appreciate the time as always. Enjoy watching the rain, and we will talk to you next Monday.
Yeah, let's get some more of that, Ren. Thanks, guys.
See you, Steve. We'll talk to you later. That is Steve Mark of Inside Nebraska. Appreciate him. As always, interesting stuff on both football and basketball there. Once again, Nebraska is reportedly hiring Ernie Ziegler, who was at Mississippi State under Ben Howland's staff for, like Steve said, 6 years. The last 6 years was on his staff, and now he'll transition to Nebraska. And we'll read his recruiting bio because some of the guys that he's gotten in the past and just kind of give you more information on Coach Ziegler along with other things. And we're also doing kind of a spillover here on the happy hour as well. We'll invite Strick.
We can go a little longer right here if you want.
Do you want to go longer here?
Let me get some volleyball in real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, I went there. I might as well get a little bit of talk.
Hey, I didn't know. Go ahead, Rico.
No, I'm just saying. We spoke with Lexi Rodriguez, Becca Alec, and head coach John Cook earlier today at the Devaney after practice. And Lexi Rodriguez is extremely excited for the season start, as you would believe. She's attempting to take on more of a leadership role, and that's something that John Cook said that would help her excel. I mean, she was an All-American last year, so really the only thing she has to step forward, aside from just getting better at her game, which again she was an All-American, is being in that leadership role. She said that Nicklin Hames moving to a defensive specialist spot outside of being a setter has not really changed much. She was flying around on the defensive side of things last season as well. So Lexi Rodriguez believes that she's, just fitting in perfectly. Becca Alec talked about the new addition, Caitlin Horde, the transfer from Penn State, and how with her experience playing at such a high level at Penn State and, making her mark against really good teams, including Nebraska, Becca takes the time out, during practice, after practice, to pick Caitlin's brain and just try to get better by absorbing some of the information that Caitlin has to offer. And head coach John Cook said the same thing about Caitlin. Is she's very, I think he said, intuitive, where she's kind of quiet, calm, cool, collected. But at the end of one of the practices, she just kind of broke it down and told everybody what she saw from other players and everything that she noticed during practice. And head coach John Cook said he just kind of stood there in awe, like, oh my goodness, like, gee, this is amazing. I have somebody like this on my roster right now who's able to see all this and being a newcomer, isn't afraid to step in and let everybody know how she feels, what she saw during practice, how everybody was doing. He also said Maggie Mendelson is coming along great. She's played more volleyball this offseason than really anybody else on the team, being on the national squads. I believe they won gold. So, she's coming along great. I was going to ask about the Maggie's transition from volleyball to basketball and how that was going to go, but I decided not to. It was my first media appearance. I just kind of sat back and listened to all of the answers.
It's fascinating to me, the whole Caitlin Horde situation, because in Nebraska's situation, we always talk about how they're basically the volleyball version of Alabama football, right? You're always reloading. It's never rebuilding. And in a year where they lost quite a couple players, obviously Lexi Sun and Lauren Stivrins are no longer here. And they lose
Kayla Caffey.
Thank you, Kayla Caffey. I wanted to say Capri Davis, but that was not the right name. She went to Texas.
She left.
She went a long time ago. Yeah, but now
Keona Leokana to Texas.
Keona Leokana to Texas, and then obviously Kayla Caffey just a couple weeks ago. Callie Schwarzenbach follows Tyler Hildebrand to Long Beach State. And so you sit here and go, all right, how's Nebraska going to, replace in the middle? And now Nicklin Hames is taking more of a different role in this team's season now, because they want to get Kennedy Orr going at the center position. So there's a couple transitions here for Husker volleyball, but you're able to go out and get an All-American in Caitlin Horde from Penn State, transfer inside the conference, inside the Big Ten conference. So that's something to kind of be impressed with from this Nebraska volleyball team if you needed another thing to applaud from John Cook and his staff.
And if you're going to the red-white scrimmage this Saturday, the 20th, right? The Saturday?
Yes.
First off, you'll get a poster that's really cool. They're doing it.
They're doing the Tech 9 thing.
They're doing it a little different. They're kind of going with the football style of things, where they're going to have the fan day where people show up, you get to sign autographs and all of that, and then they'll play the game later, as opposed to what they used to do, where they would play the game and then sign autographs afterwards. So it's a hard ticket to get. I don't know if there's any tickets. It might have been sold. I believe it's already sold out, but I'm not sure if there's any side channels you can get a ticket from. But if you do go and you notice, a lot of different rotations, a lot of different people playing with a lot of other people, it is because they have yet to lock down a top 6 right now. That is what he said today. Coach John Cook said today, and the scrimmage will go a long way in deciding who is probably going to start come the beginning of the season for Nebraska volleyball.
Well, and I guess, so to put a bow on volleyball really quickly here, they open, like Rico said, they have the red-white scrimmage on Saturday, the 20th, and then they open up play in a tournament at the Devaney Center in, I believe it's the Emeritus Challenge, like it usually is, next Friday, the 26th, I believe, against Texas A&M Corpus Christi at 11 a.m., and we'll definitely have coverage for you guys right here on 93.7 The Ticket. But also what Rico just said is that a scrimmage will go a long way in telling John Cook who he's ready to play and put out there on the floor starting next Friday. Scott Frost said something similar last week as well, said that after Sunday's scrimmage, he will have a much better of a feeling on what he wants his depth chart to look like. And we'll kind of talk about maybe some possibilities of depth chart. Once again, we'll tell you, go a little deeper into the bio of Ernie Ziegler, the new addition, new assistant coach for Husker men's basketball. And we'll invite Eric Strickland and Nathan Brennan in, the hosts of the new On the Block with Strick and Nate. We'll invite them in for a little spillover segment coming up in a couple. Crossover, yes, basketball twist. Nice job. We'll invite those two in and see if they accept the invitation or respectfully decline. We'll see what happens. Stick with us. We'll wrap up the happy hour. It's only 2 p.m. Gee whiz, I got to get used to this. We'll wrap up the happy hour coming up in a couple minutes.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the happy hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Gus Cottle. The Creighton Prep Legion baseball team representing Nebraska at the American Legion World Series lost their final game of the tournament to Chesapeake Bay, Virginia. Prep went 1-2 in the group stage and will not advance to the knockout games. With week 0 of the high school football season starting Friday, the Lincoln Journal-Stars released their preseason top 10 rankings for Class A. Omaha Westside and Gretna are ranked 1 and 2, and Lincoln Southeast is the only Lincoln school on the list, coming in at number 7. Grand Island is the only school not in the Lincoln-Omaha area to make the top 10. The top 5 high school football prospects in the state are Malachi Coleman of Lincoln East, Zane Flores of Gretna, Gunnar Gatula of Lincoln Southeast, Maverick Noonan of Elkhorn South, and Benjamin Brommer of Pierce High School. This has been your Southeast Community College High School Minute. Learn more today at southeast.edu with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford.
James Enterprise Incorporated, that company that hauls your gravel, rocks, and material for your farm or construction site, says thank you to the people of the healthcare community for putting yourself in the way of danger to save the public. That is what it means to be a hero and to build a beautiful legacy. This message brought to you by James Enterprise Incorporated. For all your hauling of rock, gravel, and materials, call them at 402-432-6740. That's 402-432-6740.
Trendy or traditional, Gary Michaels Clothiers specializes in men's tailored clothing. Off the rack or custom made to measure, there is simply no better shopping experience. Offering designer furnishings, sportswear, shoes, outerwear, and accessories for a man always concerned at looking his best. With world-class tailoring and personal service, all makes Gary Michaels Clothiers Nebraska's premier store for men. Come visit us now at Village Gardens, south of 56th and Pine Lake Road in Lincoln.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
I wanted to quit for so long, but I didn't know where to start.
I was afraid of what people would think, but then I found the right support to start my recovery journey. 1 in 14 Americans reports experiencing a substance use disorder, a treatable medical condition. Treatment can take many forms, so there are a variety of options to explore and find the one that works best for you. Recovery from drug addiction is possible.
Paid for by the CDC, sponsored by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Imagine your next staff meeting. Now imagine your next staff meeting with a side of ribs. Your next client presentation? Or that same client presentation with brisket and baked beans. It's better, right? Let Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul take care of all of your business catering needs. Feed the staff, cater your next event, whatever you need, Mary Ellen's can help. They can even host your events in their brand new event space located right next to the restaurant. Go see for yourself. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake or online at maryellens.com. Let them fix you a plate.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
We're still as busy as we've ever been. Across the country, you may see a small slowdown, but in Lincoln, Nebraska, we're not slowing down.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
Our Southwest Lincoln development is just going great as we keep growing in Southwest Lincoln. Down the road, we'll have a new school, so that's exciting. We also have a new development out in East Lincoln over by Hillcrest Country Club. Just a real neat subdivision because it features trees, great views. If you're concerned about interest rates, many lenders in town offer extended lock periods. So it's worth contacting a lender and asking them about an extended lock. That's a big deal.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary, sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary still with you guys.
What's good?
Before we begin the crossover, Rico, we do want to make sure we do our FCC liabilities. And let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
All right, so we're going to try to do this almost every day, probably every day, because why not? We love to have company inside the studio. We bring in Eric Strickland and Nathan Brennan, the hosts of On the Block from 2 to 4 starting today. Gentlemen, what's up?
It's the crossover.
Oh,
crossover.
Strick, you got some new headphones.
Yeah, man.
He's got them PlayStation headphones.
Yeah. We're gonna run the sticks later, or what's going on?
I recognize those. I almost bought a pair myself, but then that was back in my streaming days. I got a nice little quote unquote sponsorship from Razer, so I got me some Razer headphones.
Madden just came out, baby, not too long ago.
Did you get Madden?
I haven't jumped the ball yet, but
I'm
trying to still watch the gameplay and see if they fix something, because y'all cheaters.
Y'all
cheat
don't.
codes.
They
just
get new dance moves. They get new dance moves, but it's really choppy movement. Now that's what I'm worried about the NCAA football, the 23. I'm worried that it's going to be too much like Madden.
Make it just like 2014,
Yes.
just updated rosters.
Updated rosters,
Better
updated
graphics.
score
Yeah.
bugs.
Better
Get
graphics.
Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt on the call instead of Kirk Herbstreit and Brad Nessler.
No, I love Brad Nessler.
And no, Brad
I love
Nessler. You're going to hear Brad Nessler broadcasting some Big Ten football games here in the coming years.
I'm currently running Nebraska updated rosters in the Big Ten. We're in our final game, undefeated. We're about to face Iowa. Early in the season was a struggle.
Okay.
It was, look, Casey Thompson has like 15 picks. Like, it's not good.
Well,
that hopefully that's not an omen.
Over under in the real life. Over under real life this season.
Mark it.
Under.
But hold on.
Under.
It's 15 picks, but he has 30 touchdowns.
I'm still
going under.
Okay.
Speaking of video games,
Under on both.
Strick, I was looking through my video games because I went to a video game shop, saw some old games. I have NBA Live 2002, and I've decided I'm going to make a dynasty. I'm going to find the worst team in the NBA, get the number 1 overall pick, take you, train you up, get you to the 99 overall, and we're taking it all the
Take
way.
it to the house,
Strick.
baby?
Yep. Because you were in NBA Live 2002.
Only if it,
NBA Live 2005.
Only if it was. Listen, I tell people all the time, I am grateful that I was able to play the game at that level, at the highest of levels, but I'm also grateful that I didn't ascend into all-star or Hall of Fame status, because I like this. I like to be able to go bowling. I like to be able to go to Laszlo's. I like to be able to go
Brass Rail.
You still,
know what I mean? I like to interact.
Look, Strick,
Tavern.
you would have been able to. You just had to rent out the whole place so nobody else was
right,
there.
Exactly.
See, and that's what I just did not want, man. I like moving around.
Yeah, speaking of that, Jay told me this morning that he, Aaron Davis, you, Nathan, me, and Rico need to go out. We need to hit the bars.
Jay is bull. Jay Foreman, if you're
He
listening,
ain't about
that's
that.
all cap.
This is what Jay said.
He'll say it, but he won't go.
this is
And
going to
we'll all be out there.
I'll
be like,
do it.
We'll be like, Jay, where are you? And he's like, man, I got something come up.
That part.
I can't show up.
Jay was like, I've been trying for months to get Nick to go out to the bars, and then I hear on the radio. Jay said that this morning. He's like, I've been trying to find for months to try to get Nick to go out with me to the bars, take him out to the bars, but he won't. He always says no. But sure enough, when Strick comes on with Nathan, they're just gung ho to go. So
Strick will go out.
I'll go.
I know we tried to get you that one night.
No, but I had something specific. You guys got to tell me. I've got to plot and plan it. Because it's just like I'm very spontaneous. I am very spontaneous. I mean, I'll up and get it going. Very spontaneous. But if I have something, I try not to break the
That's
mold.
true.
So
That's
look,
fair. That's
look,
fair. I
look.
respect
We will look at the schedule
We will.
and we'll plot a football game
You decided to go to
and we'll say
to Europe though.
this night we out.
Okay.
Look, like Strick said, he didn't, get
Can't
to
be
that
Oklahoma
all.
game.
He didn't get to that all-star, but he's still a very important person. So he's
That's
he's
true.
out doing
That's
stuff.
true.
Yeah.
We'll be
that's
taking
true.
selfies, signing
So
autographs.
it can't be Northwestern.
All right.
But
No.
it
Are you
def-
going to Ireland?
Yes.
Okay. Is he going?
You're leaving
This
like
is
Sunday,
Eric's
right?
Look, I thought
Saturday.
Jay was going to Ireland.
Saturday.
Supposedly he's not going now.
Saturday. Yeah, I leave Saturday.
Yeah, Jay's
But I'm going
not
to other
yeah.
countries.
That's right.
One of my good friends, his name is Devin Shepard. He's already out there. Like he's already in Albania and Romania.
That's hype.
Dang.
That's
and
awesome.
he's doing all that stuff. And we got to talking at a little cigar lounge, and all of a sudden he says, "Yo, just come over early. Come over a few days early. Let's go to a few other countries and then hang out, and then go to a Formula One racing event in Brussels."
Oh, nice.
Cool. And
That's
then fly
actually
home.
sweet.
Yeah, sign
So
me up.
yeah, I think that's pretty dope, man. And so I actually was just gonna go initially just to go to Ireland
Yeah.
for the game, and then he said, "Well, just come a little bit earlier." So I will be doing on the block, just
From Europe.
the European version.
Nice. That's
Euro trip.
Give us some updates
It's actually
from
really
Ireland.
cool.
Yeah.
But
Eric Strickland Euro trip.
Yeah.
Just stick a GoPro on it.
Not the one. What was the movie? What was the movie? The Hangout? No, not that version.
The Hangover?
The Hangover.
The Hangover,
no,
not that version?
not that
Really?
version.
We'll be like,
I can
"Where's
steal a
Strickland?"
tiger
All right.
from
You're not gonna
Mike
see me
Tyson.
come back with the Mike Tyson.
So, okay, question then.
No
for that.
hostile moments either.
When you decided to make the trip or book it, did you go when you were originally just going to go to the game? Were you going to go because you wanted to see the game in Ireland,
Yeah.
or did you go because you want to see Ireland?
Well, initially, I was talking about it with my dad, and we thought maybe we'd go over there and play some golf. You know?
That'd be
But-
sweet.
That's what Sorensen's doing.
But it's going to be kind of hectic, so I didn't want to take my bags. I didn't want to do all the
Yeah.
extra stuff that's going to require for this particular one because I know I have to do the show, and I know just so I didn't want to have extras. I want to go with my dad when we can just go and it can just be golf,
Just a vacation.
Scotland and
Yeah.
golf, where we can literally just kind of hit.
Are you
the
going to get
whole
a
island.
wooden club?
No,
Have you ever played
Why?
night golf?
No.
Because that's a European thing.
no.
They have lights.
You're
like,
doing
like a
too
stadium,
much. You're doing
Yeah.
too much.
and you can play night golf. It looks pretty cool.
Nah.
Yeah,
Seems
that's
like a problem.
Seems like
Nah.
it's
With
seems like
a
it's
glow
doing
in the
too
dark
much.
ball?
The purity of that is just lost for me.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You get a wooden club. You want purity. Go to Scotland, get a
Stop
wooden club, and just go old
And a
school
kilt.
with it. Yeah,
No.
get a kilt.
Just get a
I need
kilt.
technology to be able to hit that thing with it. No kilts, no what do they call? What are the
Bagpipes.
bagpipes?
I could see you.
Go to Scotland, learn to play the bagpipe.
I could see you rocking a bagpipe.
Nah.
Bagpipes are kind of electric.
You see,
I know,
Strick
they're-
and
they're-
PBA.
they're a little
sitting up on the
obnoxious.
thing before the game starts. They're just like, and now we go to Eric Strickland, and he's just like,
Bagpipes are pretty cool.
The
actually.
bagpipes
The
are
legs would be nice though.
Yeah.
The legs and calves would
you
be
can just show off
working.
those calves in the kilt.
Yeah.
the bagpipes are okay. They're just kind of obnoxious. Bagpipes
They
are
can
so,
be.
they can just
If
be a
they get
little
really
loud
I
and
don't know how they
obnoxious.
continue to play because it's like you're breathing in and out and it's still playing.
Yeah, I don't know.
So it's part. I used to think
You have to,
do
like,
they just
blow-
have long breath?
You have to
What
like
is it?
blow
They
it
have
up
to.
before because it's like there's no air in it, so you have to blow it up first, and then you play it. And
And then it loses the air.
Yeah, but I don't know how it works. I just know you have
So
to
it's like
blow
a
it up
balloon?
first. Kinda.
Huh.
The air coming out is what makes the music, but then you're blowing more air into it. I'm not sure. I'm probably
Yeah.
making things up.
Okay, so sounds good. All right.
Sounds right to me. Sure.
Hold on, I'm trying to. They make the sound by forcing air over a reed. The air causes the reed to vibrate. The reed then makes the air in the resonator
Yeah,
vibrate,
that's like a saxophone.
and that produces the sound.
It's
Yeah,
like
I don't
any,
know.
That's like any woodwind instrument.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Rico.
I don't know how the air inside of it works. Though.
Music lessons with Rico. All right, guys, what's coming up on the show today?
We got a lot coming up. So Frost comments obviously on how hard the team's been working. We're going to touch on that. Mark Whipple's talking about the quarterbacks. It looks like Chubba Purdy might be pushing Casey Thompson.
Okay,
a little
actually,
bit.
so it's funny that
Something to
you
talk about.
it's funny you just said that because I just got a text before we play the out. Sorry, Rico.
Yeah, no, you're good.
I just got a text that says, "Is Chubba actually getting close to Thompson right now?" And if you ask, so here's the thing: if you ask Rashawn, it's not close. It is not close. But if you listen to the coaching staff, I think it's a lot closer than people might believe.
I don't think this close to the season. I don't think it should be.
That's what me and Strick are going to get into. Is that a good thing that we're less than 2 weeks away from Ireland and we still don't know who the quarterback is?
Well, we've seen them do this before where they've waited until like the week of the game. Now, has it worked? Has it helped? Probably
yeah,
not.
then
It has to do with preparation stuff too, right?
The
Who
week
are you
before.
praying-
Bingo.
Well,
preparing for?
we found out on Saturday at the press conference. I remember hearing Scott Frost say, we're going to do the scrimmage. We're going to have a couple days or like a day, 2 days off. And then it's game prep for Northwestern. And if they're game prepping and don't know who their quarterback is, That's a little dicey.
Red flag.
That's super interesting. That's a very interesting conversation. All right, don't go anywhere. On the Block with Strick and Nate is coming up next, 2 to 4. Then it's Old School with DP and J from 4 to 6. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We're done for today. We will talk to you at 1 p.m. tomorrow. See ya.
Adios.